Hello everybody, welcome to another day of Cosmoteer. I was in the middle of working on this and editing it, figured I might as well just start recording what I'm doing. So I was working on the ship right here. It's only a 34 crew ship compared to this other one that's a 76 crew ship, and I was just looking at how to make this one even better. So I've been working on it non-stop. You can see it just won, and you can see the huge difference. 446, 734 crew, this is 76 crew ship, and it can beat it. But what I was looking at right here, what I wanted to modify, I was looking at the walkways and I'm like, I really need to fix this. And this piece of armor right here, I don't want it. So I'm actually going to change it, increase it, and put walkways. So the walkway that I want here is going to be, we'll put this in blueprint mode, do 2, up, up, and then this is going to be down, down. So this is down, and I actually kind of maybe want to reverse this. Maybe, okay, down, down, no, then we'll go down here. And then these right here are gaps, and I kind of want to fill those in like this. Then it should work this way. I mean, maybe take it away, but we'll see. We're going to play with it like that. And then what I'm going to do here is we're going to save this ship design. We're going to go to 1.2. We'll see how it goes. So I was literally trying to make a 34 crew ship and improve it to be better. So I have a 34, 34, and then the 50 crew. 2 34s can beat a 50 pretty easily. And the main reason I'm thinking is less crew, a lot more costs, but that's fine. And I'm really liking the 34 crew with the 5 mining lasers on it. And now what I'm trying to double check is to make sure I didn't mess up all these walkways. It should be better. This needs to be... No, it works. That works, that works. I guess I gotta watch the mining laser and actually get energy. So, yeah, it's fine. I mean, you could leave the empty spaces there, but I like it so that they're... If they're going faster this way or going faster back way, it still works. Oh, I needed a door. I needed a door right there. That was the other improvement I needed to do. So the other thing I needed to change right now was I wanted to put a door here and here. Right there. Okay, that will fix that. So what this will do is they go in, come out, supply energy, and then come back out like that. There we go. I don't know if they can still beat this other ship. I mean, most of the time that other ship has far more crew, has far more offensive power. And then the other thing that I don't like about this too is if you do enough damage down the middle like this, do the shields overlap? Or is it literally just only armor covering? Which might just be armor covering, but it does still beat this other ship. I think it already just did. It did just do that. So it's still won. Pretty amazing is what I can say cost wise. I'm just repairing it so that I can save it. We're gonna save this ship as a 1.3 value. So what I want to see now is we're gonna take 1.3 and that's that other one. Let's go up in value. So these are the storage ones. If it can beat the last, then they probably can beat the storage one too, which is 98. Costs a lot more, but mainly all the extra cost is all these point defenses and storage bay, and just basically everything else. But if it can beat this other ship like this, 34 crew with so much less compared to that, that will be pretty impressive. So the doors now make it work. Get a walkway. I'm mainly observing the changes that I made. I know I'm not actually watching the battle. This is how I do my edits: is you make a little tiny change and then you see how your changes actually affect it. I'm kind of concerned right here. There's a little lag point right here, and I'm wondering if I should change that as a up or leave that as a lag point, or leave it as an empty space. It's not that bad. It's way better than it was before. Oh, I don't like this door here. I don't like like this door. I'm gonna remove it. Yeah, I put an extra door when I put the walkway there. And then we got fire extinguishers. The engine rooms keep running out of power, but it's to be expected because we're running on a very bare minimum crew on this. And what this is at, this is only 34 crew when this really should be a 50 crew ship. But it operates with just 34 and was taking sustained amount of damage. It did a ton of damage to the ship. If it just focus fired right down the middle, it probably could have beat it. And then the weapon systems didn't tear off. But it did not bad. Did not bad. Okay, now the thing I wanted to change was I want to rip these doors off. It's not what I do. Control Z. Rip those doors off. Those doors are for these. Those are for those. Drive, in and out, storage base. Okay. It's telling me how to play the game because I haven't opened the games for so long. I probably had to reinstall that on this machine, but anyways, resave. This is gonna be 1.4. Go to 1.4. 1.4. Check this out. In out. Armor wise, it's a good layer stacking. I don't know about these triangle pieces. I mean, it looks cool, but these triangle pieces really don't offer. I'm wondering if we put square pieces to make it look more funny, but put square pieces here. Was change the whole front armor. We're gonna leave it alone for just a little bit. I want to see if this can actually win. We're checking to see if this can win versus this one. This one just has so much more firepower and armor and everything else on it. But if it's focus firing, and same thing like this other ship. If this ship was actually focus firing, it definitely wiped the ship up pretty quickly. Just fire down the middle and get rid of the armor. And or side sweep it. But in an AI battle, I have 5 mining lasers, and the mining lasers to do as much damage and tank as long as it is versus this, it's pretty impressive. And once it loses all its offensive, then it's kind of think about it. Alright, let's watch how this armor gets ripped off. So it's going to do damage here. This middle part right here is not doing it because it's getting hit from the sides. Will square pieces of armor here help it last a tiny bit longer? Maybe? Yeah. Kind of would. Or this layer stacking of shields, I like this setup better for this type of shield placement, which is what I would like to do to this other one, but I can't just because of the mining lasers up here. So redesign this. Make it look funny. Armor. It makes it look goofy, but I can even make it look more goofy too. Makes me wonder. Oops. Oh. Ah. The pieces don't fall off like that. This is in, that keeps that frames in there. This, if I were to flip this, I wanted to. What does this one do? Not saving the changes just yet. These are shields. You don't have to be there. So we can move you. So what I want to do is I want to take this. No. No. Where is it currently? Huh. Well, maybe you could move it up one, and that will help protect the shields a little bit. But I like the layer stacking over the way it is now, but hard decisions. Hard decisions. Okay, put that there, this there, those are shields. It goes in and out, in and out. Da, 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 and out, and out. Da, da, da. This seems like a waste now that when you move that up. Corner, 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 corner. Corner, corner, and out, and out. Hold on. No, what I'm gonna do. Take this one and move it over here. Okay, it didn't do what I was thinking, but like that. Okay, da, 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 shields. I don't remember if they had dedications, but they're still shield people. They move them there, they move there, let's move there. Just got it in and out. Maybe even if I move these one more up, then I got a surrounding walkways to go around that. Alright, totally changing that. It's 1.5. Let's see, 0.5. Actually, I need to load 1.4 back in because I think I messed up the dedications for the laser. I need to figure out where the placement is. Okay, so put this in here like that. We go 1.4. Double check this. All right, I got a white. Like this. This. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. So what I changed was I changed the dedication, see? So it's this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. And then what else was changed? Is there a third one? Okay, so small guy 2, no white guy, none of that. What about power dedications? No power dedications change. These, okay, what about this? Was this? Okay, that should work that way. So come back over here, rededicate this guys. There. So what happens when you move pieces around? Resave the ship as 1.5. Reload it. Pull off 1.4. Let's go. Okay. So let's see how this does. Shield guy should come out and do shields. Should stay on the corners, 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 corners. That works that way. Go in and out that way. I like it. Now people can walk in and out that way. They can supply laser as needed. We get this one. Engine rooms are out over here. Doing damage still. These extra pieces are... I'm wondering about these triangle pieces. Instead of triangle pieces, I'm kind of tempted to change into squares. See this right here? These triangle pieces don't offer enough protection, so I'm wanting to maybe change those to squares. The frames right here are to help hold in these other pieces, you see? Because if the frames aren't there, then the piece would just fall off because there's nothing to hold it. So it adds in the extra armor for the frontal layer. So So adding the frames, even though it costs a little bit extra, it's hold it all together, especially for the frontal armor. Interesting. Yeah, it's actually surviving and doing a little bit better. And I'm actually I want to change these triangle pieces to squares. Give it just a tiny bit more extra protection to tank. Yeah, these triangle pieces, these ones right here. Not those ones, these ones on the outside. I'll protect the laser. See how the laser's getting hit? I mean the shields are getting hit. Don't want that. So I need a tiny bit more layer of protection right there. Cause you see that? It's hitting right through the frames and everything else. And then once you lose the shields, and you lose all that extra protection for it to survive a little bit longer. But it did. I mean, I can't get past this without disruptors. See the double layer shields, this shield, and this shields, and the way that this ship is, because of the way that it's dedicated so many crew members to the shields that those lasers are not going to get past it. But what we can improve here, we're looking at the armor, is we can change the head armor out here. Hey, I have no love for tittle tiny triangle pieces. They add aesthetics, but they don't add the protection that I want. And then this right here should be that. All right, now that I've totally ruined it, I just added so much more extra weight. I mean, it can be open space. These ones could actually go back to frames. Now that we added the piece of armor there, this is... Honestly, this can move back one, and then this can be this one right here like that. And then this, now that those are layer stacked this way, this is a double piece of armor, it looks like. What? That's not layer stacked properly now that I'm looking at it. Oh. No. Okay, change these back to frames. This could be frames as well, but I'm gonna leave them there. This is this way, then we get a little bit more, a tiny bit open space. This is now that way. Okay, change that like that. Save this as 1.6. That's again, it's not a fair battle at all, but it's not the point. The point is to see how long it can tank, and if it could technically win versus this one, I don't think it ever will. These shields right here, unless you were playing it yourself and ripped up all the weapons, this is the first thing you target. Just rip off all the weapons first, and then see if you can flank and get from behind in some way, but they both have a ton of thrust and a ton of movement. So, but the main purpose here is it rips off the large shield, and then there's still some armor here, not a ton. Now it's going to rip off the second large shield. This is enough for that. It's enough for this. That tiny piece of armor was ripped off, which is good. So my defenses are doing what they will when the missiles come. I'm gonna power back there, but that's okay. Ripped off the other large shield. Now we're looking to see just how much armor and where the armor is placed and how it's gonna get ripped off before it rips off the small shields. This tiny bit of armor right there. Okay, ripped off that. Now the targeting here. It's gonna aim at this small shield. I like the protection here so far. This protection is still protected because it's good. We still have our disruptors, so we actually stand a chance. We're gonna lose this shield, which is fine. Still not firing. Now it's gonna target what? Weapon system, so it's now targeting weapon system. So it did this shield, and now it's gonna go for this other shield. We still have our weapon system, still have both disruptors on both sides, which is good. Now we're gonna lose this shield. And then it's aiming at point defenses. At this point, I think we've already ripped past the shield, and there it goes. That's a win. That is a win versus that one in an AI battle. That is good. That is good. I like the changes. Okay, let's now upgrade. Let's see if you can handle this. Armor. Oh, there's enough point defenses to take on the actual single cannon. Or now we're no longer we're too close now. But it was taking on some of the projectiles. Okay, single deck cannon versus this one. Kind of has almost the same head piece, but it doesn't have the same reduced weight. Five mining lasers, and then it has everything else for the in-game too, right? So it has a manipulator, beam emitter, has decent amount of movement speed. The main reason why the engines are not always up is I purposely changed the priorities to focus more on the shields and the actual combat capability, so it actually is doing damage. And movement, it sacrifices movement for making sure it gets into combat and actually doing combat damage. Now if you change this to 50 crew members, then you could keep the engines always up. But the engines are gonna be sacrificed because we're playing with such fewer crew. But the main reason for that is in-game I always had problems with crew members. I know they made changes, I know they made updates, but I'm always trying to make ships better with less crew, less and less crew, to see just how well they can perform. And then when you actually upgrade and get to the higher point of the game, once you guys are optimized, just adding more crew just makes the ship perform better and better, right? Not always necessarily, sometimes you just have crew sitting nowhere and doing nothing, but the more you can optimize your crew to be doing everything, and then add specific walkways to make everything function the way you want. And yes, the small laser is supposed to not have as much energy as the disruptors. The disruptors are supposed to always be up. The main purpose of the disruptors is to rip off the shields, ships that have shields, and then the mining lasers are going to do the constant, consistent damage, the slow amount of damage to rip off and actually do damage. So if this 34 crew ship mining lasers, which looks like it's totally going to beat this single cannon ship, already optimization and betterness is really going to be good. We're trying to upgrade these ships as best we can so that we can prepare for playing on the Grand Admiral Challenge with these mining lasers. So the more we optimize it, the more better we make it. And this is probably a ship I'm definitely going to play with. I really like the 34 crews on it. We only lost one crew member out of all the damage it sustained so far. We went from 34 to 33. So really, don't lose that many crew, which is the most hugest commodity when you're playing the in-game. Is losing crew members is huge. So if you can keep your crew members going and still keep sustaining and doing damage, look at this, and tank, right? Because the main purpose of this 34 crew ship is to have multiple of them that flying can do damage. So the next test I want to do here too, and I can already see in the long run, it's only, because I still have my disruptors up, I still have all 5 mining lasers, it will eventually pound all the way through and wipe this other ship out, which it is doing right now. Well, once it loses its reactor, I consider that a win. Okay, let's rip that ship off. Like over here, let's pull in another 1.6. We're gonna pull in 3 of these guys. Probably gonna take 4 of them. And we're gonna come over here to Cabal and we're gonna give it my pass or go test. Can 3 of these guys beat a Polaris? Very, very close to the same cost. It does a little bit more. Way less crew, 102 to 316. We have the point defenses. You can see right here, the point defenses are knocking out the actual missiles. This is only for burst, right? The point defenses are not going to last long enough because there's not enough crew or even crew dedicated for the point defenses. But the main purpose, did he already wipe off one ship? No, I can see all 3. Okay, all 3 ships are still up. Missiles are being taken. It's tanking the damage. Obviously, we are going to lose point defenses because I don't have anybody dedicated to those point defenses. But the damage-wise, all 3 ships are still going. For them to be lasting as long as they are, it's tanking for this direction. We lost the thrusters here. I know this was a weak point. And we lost another wing here, but these are expendable. They're meant to fall off. And then this ship, what? Dead in the water? It lost its thrusts. So now it finally got its thrust back up and going because I don't have enough guys dedicated to it. That is a downfall of the 34 cruise ship, but that I've noticed. If the engines lose power and we have nobody dedicated to the power, we lose our movement, you lose your movement, and you can't be in battle, which will eventually get you to lose. But for them to have lived as long as they're living right here with just 3 of them versus this, that's not bad. It will take 4. And I believe with 4 of these guys, we'll definitely be able to beat a Polaris and sustain not as much damage as I'm hoping. I don't know, we're gonna find out here in a little bit. So all the whistles you see are getting wiped out from the first couple barrages. And then even though the lasers are hitting, and then this is a stuck point right here. I don't like this. See how I'm now stuck in there? And then they're hitting the just... And then now we're gonna get hit from behind because of the stuck factor. So this ship's gonna take damage from behind and then lose it. So that piece right there, this piece right here, isn't attached as much as I want. So even pushing this armor out just a tiny bit, attaching back armor better. Probably the next thing I need to work on is the back armor. It doesn't have enough. But I don't want to increase its weight too much. Huh. I see the flaws already. Engine room's cutting out, right? And then it gets stuck. And or no, it already lost its command deck. Control room's right. Lost its control room. And then the stuck factor here with this. But the Polaris, it ran out of missiles. We still have, technically, 3 ships, and then this ship can be easily rebuilt if you were playing it in the game. And if you were controlling this, you could definitely... Yeah, the only thing the Polaris has less are the lasers. And the lasers are not going to do enough damage to get past the shields, most likely. That's not bad. I think that's pretty good. It's not as effective as my 3 multi-task ships. But if you're going for mining lasers as the main purpose, and for so much less crew, well, obviously, right, if I pulled in 3 of the other ones, it's 300 crew. We're working with bare minimum crew, right? 34, 34, 34, and then this one still has 25. So we're working with less than half the crew of the Polaris. And just crew members alone take on that, right? 136 crew to 316 crew. Yes, the cost is so much more, but when it comes to crew, and we didn't even lose all our crew members, which is the main purpose, that is not bad. Alright, so if you enjoyed this content, please feel free to hit the like button. Helps me out a ton. Helps to push out this content to other people, bring awareness to it. If you like, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, especially what you don't like, so that I can improve and make better content. If you have not already, please feel free to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay as well. Come back once a week, once a month. Check out what content I have. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. And you all have a wonderful rest of your day.